Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us back here on the live. We are Allegra Jackson, the marketing medulla, and I am here with Ms. TeeCee Okore. And TeeCee is, your systems strategist, sales funnel strategist. She's going to help you get that together, not just help you strategize it, but also implement it, implementation strategist. Is that what you usually say, TeeCee? Because we know you're not a coach. Uh, I want to talk about today. TeeCee chose this title for us today about mastering the art of consistency to generate quality leads. And I think this is really important because one of the things that I was thinking about is, how to really start that lead generation process. A lot of people are in the beginning of building their businesses. Some people are starting over. Some people have had businesses for a long time and they wanted to relaunch and launch again. So every single time you have something to offer to the public, as far as a product or service, you're going to have some level of lead generation to get people to buy from you and to consistently buy from you. That's where the money comes from. Money doesn't come from, TeeCee, you can let me know if I'm right about this or if I'm wrong about this, right? But when we, tell me if I'm wrong, but if we basically go to target new people all the time, right? That takes a lot of work because we're constantly showing up on lives and audios and sending out emails, right? So we're constantly looking for all these new leads, these new people to buy our items. And I believe that that's great. But I also think that we leave a lot of money on the table when it comes down to the people that have already bought from us, people that have already shown interest, right? And so that's why I believe that this is such a great, topic today. Because when you're consistent, right? Because I said on the live yesterday, you can be consistently bad at something.
That's true.
So to be consistently good at something, you want to make sure that it's working. And, for me, I think that a lot of times, when I look back on my history of lead generation, right? I look at how I used to always tackle the new leads, like, oh, I got to find somebody to buy, right? But then I wouldn't think about the people that have already bought from me or people that have shown interest in the past. But once I started doing things like making phone calls and saying, hey, it's been a while. Last time you purchased from us, we wanted to make sure that, if you needed another one, right? If you needed to buy again. And that was just a simple conversation, right? A simple call. Then we had, email strategies where we go back and send, follow-up emails and, just tell people, hey, listen, like you bought this one time, we have new things available now. So you may be interested in buying into new programs, buying into new products. And so I want to kind of talk about that because if we're talking about mastering the art of consistency to generate quality leads, I feel like it doesn't start off with this huge lead generation process that just works, right? It starts off with you finding out who's interested first in your product and service, and then you consistently show up for them. They become loyal buyers, right? Because now they're like, okay, I like TeeCee, I like Allegra, like I'm gonna maybe buy again one day, right? And when we consistently show up for those individuals as well as new people that are looking for us, and we'll dig into what that looks like, I think that is where you master the art of consistency because you're hitting, people who are already buying from you, which statistically proven, and I'll leave it here because in marketing we always look at the numbers, statistically proving that 80%, well, yeah, put it like this, 80%, because this is an 80-20 rule, 80% of your sales are going to come from 20% of your audience. And those individuals are normally people who have already bought from you before. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to TeeCee, and then we'll continue with this conversation. Y'all, let us know what you think about the conversation. Share this live to your friends and people on your social media accounts. And yeah, ask your questions in the chat as well. Go ahead, TC, you have it.
I love that, and I love, where we're headed to with this conversation. While you were speaking, I'm saying to myself, it's important that we understand that when we talk about mastering the art of consistency, we're talking about quality, not quantity, right? Um, because, like you said, Allegra, we can actually stay consistent with doing the wrong things, which is basically what so many of us do. We can, stay consistent at not only doing the wrong things, but doing it the wrong ways, right? We can stay consistent at, maybe being stagnant, and we don't even know that we are stagnant. And I think there are different sides to consistency. Now you want to figure out what consistency truly means to you, right? You see, with generating those quality leads, right, and mastering the act of consistency, for me, I feel like you want to understand, well, what do you want to get out of, the path you're going, like the path you're taking, the lead generation part, right? Because your lead generation part is basically where you get the quality leads. Okay, so what is it like, what's your goal, right? um so for me, right, I believe that once you're able to clearly itemize and understand what your goal is. So, for example, you can set, lead generation goals like, maybe this month I want to be able to attract, maybe I want to be able to attract maybe 500 leads, or maybe 1,000 leads, or 5,000 leads, right? Now that's a goal, right? Now you want to then figure out like the activities, all that you need to get done, just so you're able to get to those goals. Now, consistency is a technique, it's not just a word. I feel like right now, especially on social media streets, we love to use the word, so the same way you love to use the word authenticity is the same way we love to use the word consistency. Like everybody just opens their mouth and like, consistency, consistency, consistency. What does consistency mean to you? Right? Because consistency for me can be different from Allegra's quote of consistency, right? Now, consistency to you is what works for you and gets you results. Now, that's what you should stay consistent at. That's what you should repeat. Because for me, consistency is more like repetition, right? And so that's why you can do several wrong things repeatedly and keep getting the wrong results, right? And you can do several right things repeatedly and keep getting the right results, right? However, for me, that's why today's topic is more like the art of consistency, because it's a technique, right? It's not just a word, it's not a feeling, it's not an emotion, right? It's a technique. Sometimes I could even say it's a skill, because some of us need to literally learn how to stay consistent, right? Because I'm not saying push out 1 million posts every single day. Okay, I'm not saying, oh, consistency 5 days, no, sorry, 5 posts in a day, and then in a week you're doing like 1 billion posts. No, that's not consistency. That's not what I'm talking about. Now, some people, that could be their own definition of consistency, right? But the truth is, you want to define what consistency means to you and repeat it, right? So I feel like my first statement, understanding that consistency is a technique, is a skill, and not everyone is blessed to have that skill, and it's okay, right? It's okay if you do not understand or know how to stay consistent in your business. Consistency is not meant to give you unnecessary migraine. Consistency is not meant to wear you out. Consistency is meant to bring out the best in you, right? Now that's consistency. So you want to define what that is for you and then master it, right? I talked about consistency being a skill. I talked about it being a technique. And you see, when we talk about techniques, when we talk about skills, right? It's the same thing when we say not all entrepreneurs or not all business owners are salespersons, like are salespeople, right? But you see, you want to learn that skill because see, okay, let me break it down. I was writing this down, but I'm still trying to get it all together so we can use it as a tweet, right? So listen, let's see if we can get it. So not all entrepreneurs, business owners are salespersons. However, all entrepreneurs and business owners need to master the act of selling, right? They need to have that skill, okay? Because you see, whether you agree or not, every single day of your life you're selling, right? Now you want to be able to master it just so you're able to get that next step into your success, right? Into your next level success. It's the same thing that goes with consistency, right? So that's why, for our master class by the end of this month, that's basically what we're touching on, right? What we're going to be breaking down is how you can technically master it. So I'm not saying just wake up in the morning, post, post, post. No, we're talking about how you can allocate maybe time, do this, do that. So when you see what you have going on by the end of the month, you can see your definition of consistency. Like if you can't map out what consistency means to you, like write it down, look at it, and it makes sense to you, then you're not started yet. Right? Now that's what I mean, right? By mastering it, ensuring that, because you see, sometimes when we even talk about mastering consistency, we talk about how to incorporate consistency the right way into our lead generation process. That is key. That's one ingredient that every business owner needs. And if you have a team, you want to incorporate it into your team culture. That skill, consistency. That's the name of the skill. Mhm. I see Allegra being jotting, like jotting. I'm very tempted to ask Allegra, show us your book. Show us your book. Tell us what you write.
Yeah, I'm writing notes as always, like it's so good because consistency is a skill. I was thinking of all the different things that are skills, like listening is also a skill. And there are just so many different things. And so when you said consistency is a skill, I was like, absolutely. And you can, and that's where I think we get that idea of because you can be consistently bad at something, right? Hey, sis, I see Ariana popped in the room. Shout out to our co-founder. I just like feel like consistency is something that we have to pay attention to because if you are looking for quality leads, right? Because this is what we're talking about, right? Like really being able to master the art of this and consistently generating quality leads. A lot of times we're consistently going after the wrong people, right? And I think about this, right? Because you were talking about this, TC. You were talking about how you could have your whole email sales funnel filled up with people who are just nosy. they don't even they don't even care about what you're offering. They're just like really being nosy. Like, does that make sense to have like 200 people in your sales funnel that just like just, oh, I just want to see what she got going on. And so quality leads, meaning like you've already vetted and asserted that these people are qualified. Okay, qualified. And I love that because at the end of the day, we have that choice. Like some people, when I started my program, I told people at the beginning of AJCO Business Coaching Group, and some of y'all know this, I would have a very strict policy and a strict rule, right, on what type of leads I received. So if they came into my inbox, they already knew, like, I got to be serious with Allegra. I can't come in there and just, select something. And so you can create a culture in your organization that allows people to know, like, do I qualify for that? And being consistently good at that, being consistently good at saying, like, okay, this is how I relay my message to people so they really are informed, about how they can connect with me. And I'm gonna tell you why that's so important. Okay, this is like just a testament, because I've had several situations where I had to talk to people, and they're like, because I do business audits all the time, and people are really like upset because they're like, I reached out to them, they said they wanted to work with me, and then they just disappeared. And I'm like, well, they weren't good to work with. Like, be happy that they disappeared. Be happy that they decided that wasn't for them, right? Because, now you can move on to the next person who may be more qualified to work with you. And the people who are mostly interested, like not individuals who are like, yeah, I don't know, maybe, like anyone who, listen, if I have a lead, someone that's interested in me writing a business plan or doing a marketing strategy or whatever, right? Usually most of the time, most of my leads come from referrals. Those are quality leads for me because they have already heard what I do, how I do it, and heard it from someone they trust, right? Or somewhere they trust. So when I look at my marketing, right, I look at the past, it makes that makes me feel good about doing less on the front end, because now I can show up and feel good about just kind of like sharing information rather than being like, hey y'all, buy my program, buy my program. And sometimes we do that, and we get all these people that are like in post in this moment, and they buy your workshop or they buy your membership or they get in your coaching program, right? Because that's what happened to me. And then they end up being these like really unfit individuals. And you're just like, okay, maybe I should change the way that I do this, because if you are consistent, those are the same people that you consistently keep attracting, right? Those leads are going to consistently give you the same results. You're going to go month after month after month, experience the same results. And so that's why we look at business as far as KPIs, and we say, what are your key performance indicators? What shows you every single month, every single quarter, every single year that you are growing? And majority of the times, it's not just the inner culture of your business, because your business itself should be growing, like staff members, programs, departments, like that should be growing over time. But with your sales and marketing, your leads should be growing over time, not only in quantity, but in quality as well. So as you build more individuals, because TeeCee, I'm going to release it over to you, because I know you probably got a whole bunch in here when it comes down to, especially with emails and texts, because if you are growing your audience, you're also going to have a lot of unfit people fall off, like a lot of unsubscribes, a lot of, hey, listen, you don't qualify anymore, or let's put you in something else, you know. And I think that when we look at that, because we'll get really disappointed when people say no or don't want to sign up for things, or and I think that when we really get more indifferent about those type of situations, when people say, no, I'm not that interested, right? And you get really consistent at being able to move past that no quicker. Like, okay, perfect, thank you. Boom, go to the next person, right? And someone else says, no, I'm not sure, right? Boom, go to the next person. Because you don't have time in that moment while you're doing sales. Because TeeCee, you're right. We have to know sales. We don't have to be salespeople, but we got to know sales. Because even if you hire someone to do sales in your business, you have to know what the hell they're doing. Like, excuse my language, y'all. But you have to know what is happening, because if those numbers don't look right and they not fitting that, big goal you have at the end of the year, you're not going to know if you don't do sales. You're not going to realize like what's happening. You're not going to know like what's not working and what's working. So you got to be able to know sales. But I'm going to tell y'all that it's really important to consistently be able to show up in a way where you're not only making sure that you're getting people in alignment with where they fit in your business too, right? Because as your leads grow, right? And I like when you say quality leads, is as your leads grow and as your leads go. I like that. As your leads grow and as your leads go, you're going to get more in tune with how you do business. And so you're going to refine some of the things you do, make it better, right? Your programs get better. They get more enhanced. Your products, you get more things in your stores, right? And these are opportunities where you take the leads that are already coming to you, that you are identifying, right? Like, these are really good leads because They always look at my emails. They're always in my social media. They buy my stuff, right? And you're going to consistently show up for them so that they can consistently do what they need to do for you. But but I think like we really have to be in tune. We really got to be in tune with honing in on what kind of skills, to TC's point, what kind of skills in the consistency process do you need to build on? And that's what we're teaching in that 3-day masterclass. And that's why I like this conversation. So it is an art. It is an art. But TC, what do you have for that? Because there's so many things that I think like we can work on when it comes down to consistency. So like I've seen it where there's just like, for me, my biggest thing is, how do I assess that? How do I assess where I'm consistently doing something bad? And I just say, I look at the data. What do you think?
I think you're right, because I wanted to just say first that you can't be consistent at what you don't know, right? Unless you're definitely going to do it wrong, right? Because you are assuming you know, but you don't know, and you're trying to stay consistent at what exactly you don't know. So when we talk about consistency being an act, what this means is you are clear as to the outcome you want to see. Mhm. Now, because you're clear about the outcome you want to see, you know the paths to take. Now, that's intentional consistency. Oh my gosh, I don't know where that word came out from, but it just came out, so it sounds right. So okay, intentional consistency, right? Now, this is me saying, and I go really laughing. So this
Because
is
it's like
me.
something dropped in your spirit.
So I, the word sounds like really big, and I'm like, where did that word come from? Okay, so so what I'm trying to say, right, with intentional consistency is the fact that first we want to get clear as to the outcome we want to see, right? And then get clear as to how we can get to that outcome. So like I was talking about emails. Now this hurts. It would definitely hurt. See, I'm saying it to you, and I'm sure you'd be like, oh, TC got it. No, it still hurts me. Now this is why. So because I know it hurts me when you unsubscribe, right? So it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm just telling you the truth, right? It's hurting, right? Especially because I intentionally most times trigger these things to happen. Because it's good to declutter your list. It's good to declutter your social media. It's good to declutter your space. It's good to declutter your reality, your real life, right? Because if you have so many people that are not, maybe filling up your cup for you, and all you're doing is just, empty, empty. At the stage, you have nothing again, and you can't give what you don't have. Right now, with consistency comes clarity, right? You have to be clear first before you're able to, intentionally proceed on consistency and do it right. If you're working with a bunch of people that are not interested, right? When I talk about generating quality leads, I'm talking about in different phases at a different stage in your customer purchasing journey, right? Because it's also very important to you that not everybody that is interested in the awareness stage is also as interested in the first stage. Not everybody that's interested in your trainings is going to be interested in your one-on-ones. Not everybody that's interested in your one-on-ones is going to be interested in your training. No, it's not because they don't like you. It's because they're not just interested. And it's fine. Okay, so if you have a list, for example, for people that are interested in your done for you, right? Now, it's important that you clean out the people that are not interested. So you're able to focus. Consistency also means focus, right? Now, you want to focus on doing the right things so that you're able to see results. Consistency means efficiency, it means productivity, right? Now, if, for example, you have a bunch of people on your list and you're like keeping them because it makes you feel good, and you can cry out to the world and say, I have 50,000 email lists. Clap for yourself, congratulations. But how much do you make in a week? That's what we're talking about. How many connections? How many lives have you impacted? Tell me what you've made in a week. Let's start with that. And don't tell me how many people you have on your list like that casually. I have a little now. Yes, that's the means to an end, right? Your leads, it's the means to an end. It's important for that end goal. However, that's not the end goal. Okay, so we're working on the means to the end, we need to put the end in mind. The end in mind is sales. Now, if you're attracting a bunch of people in your space and all they want to do is find out what TeeCee is doing. Oh, I want to copy Allegra's framework. I want to copy the way Allegra writes her email. And then that's all they want to do in your list. That's a waste, and you're spending money. Remember this see, these platforms are not smiling anymore. They tell you they're going to give you free trial. I was testing out one new tool. It's a new CRM I was testing out. And this new CRM, I'm like, okay, let me just try their 14 days trial, just to check it and see if it's good and maybe I can recommend it or not. Yo, they did me one very strong thing. Like, they're thinking they're going to give me the 14 days trial, and I couldn't even take 2 steps. I started to have glitches, like glitches. I had to call, and they're like, "Oh, you have to go to this particular plan," and the plan is like shifting me to like it was like the third, the no, it was like the mid-tier plan. I'm like, whoa, now you all have not come to play. My point is that these platforms are no longer free. Now, if you think they're free, that means you're not taking advantage of their opportunities the way you should. You're not maximizing it, right? That's why you're seeing the free version. Well, not always, you know. But you want to, as much as possible, understand that time is being spent, energy is being spent, you're paying for certain things. And so you can't afford to get people that do not align with your end goal into your space. Now, end goal could mean referral. End goal could mean, oh, they push they push your contents, they engage with you, they're there, they're cheering you up. Even people that cheer you up, I tell you, people that cheer you up, have them in your space. You need them because they will cheer you up to greatness. They will push you, right? Because sometimes the people that buy from you do not really have that time to start to engage and push you. See, those cheerleaders are the ones that basically push your posts and push your this and share those things. So it's good if they are cheerleaders as well. So if you have cheerleaders, end goal, that's why I said, consistency is being intentional. Now, your end goal, cheerleaders, your end goal, referrals, your end goal, the sales, direct sales, secondary sales, those are, tangible and realistic end goals, right? But if your end goal is just, I want to get followers, I want to do this, I want that, no, that's not it. That's not you mastering the art of consistency. You see, all of these things that I made mention, all of it, you're literally going to be taking them, breaking them down, and showing you how you are able to apply them at every stage in your lead generation process, in your customer purchasing journey, right? So that you're not only attracting, right, and getting in quality leads, you are able to consistently see, listen, consistent, right? Because it is the act of consistently generating these quality leads that gets you into converting them to sales. Is it just me, or Allegra is out? Um, okay. So, is it me? Allegra, did you go out? Or was it me? It was me. You. Okay. Oh, okay, okay. Let me just be sure. You're laughing. No, no. I just wanted to be sure that I wasn't just speaking to myself.
It was me.
Okay,
It's me, y'all. It's me. I'm working on tech. I'm working on the technicalities back here. I'm sorry, TC. I was listening though.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine because at the stage I just wanted to be sure that I wasn't speaking to myself, and then we are no longer live. So I'm wondering, where's Allegra? Where's Allegra? But yeah, not going back to the conversation, right? It's very important that we have all of these things, and so that's why we're going to be breaking it down, because we need to sit down with you. And Allegra was saying the other day, DM me the word masterclass. I'm not going to share the link. Yeah, we're not going to share the link. We do, because we do not want so many people clouding the link. No, we don't just want the traffic. We want people who are ready to change their lives, change the cost of their lead generation, the cost of their lead conversion into sales, right? They really want that change. They really want that transformation. And that's why she said, okay, DM me the word masterclass so you're able to get the next step. And that's it. That's the call to action. Like if you say, oh no, I'm not going to DM Allegra because I don't want to go into Allegra's DMs. Oh well, you're not going to get access to the masterclass. It's that simple. Because we want to be sure that you are a good fit. We want to be sure that you are a good fit to the masterclass, right? Because we don't want people that would jump on the masterclass, take up space, sit down there, you write all the notes, you be like, yeah, 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 you're hitting it. And in the next 2 months, we'll come back to you, you're still, like, literally, you've gone back to ground zero. Like, maybe we met you at ground two, and then in 2 months' time, you go back to ground zero. Why? Because you actually, you finished and then you just dumped it somewhere and started to do something else. And so there's no change. No, we want people that are interested in change. Like, I want to see that change in my business. I'm interested in investing my time, my energy, my resources to ensuring that I see the change in my business. Like, if your goal is I want to start to make 10K, right? You want to join the masterclass. It's a 3-day life-changing masterclass, right? Talking about sales strategies, lead generation, all of this good stuff, breaking it down and showing you how you can implement it, which is huge, right? I think Allegra wanted to say something. Or did I miss her? Okay, I see you now. Yeah, over to you, Allegra.
No, I mean, can you hear me?
Yes, and now.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm a little glitchy with this internet service. But I'm just gonna, second what you said, because before I respond about the quality over quantity when it comes to your lead generation process, right? And when we talk about this, we use a lot of big words, like we go lead generation, lead magnet, right? CRM, and people are like, oh my God, that's a lot to learn. But these are simple things that TeeCee, when you were talking, I'm like, we do this stuff every single day, and I'm gonna tell y'all how that breaks down, right? But what you're talking about with this 3-day masterclass is really the reason why you have to, be focused on, um, you know, on this process that we're telling you to do, like getting the DMs, is because number one, this is why I tell people, TeeCee, people don't realize this, right? And this is why I laugh like a little bit, I chuckle a little bit. People are like, oh my God, why do I have to? Because it's your ability to follow directions that lets me know that we can work with you. If you cannot follow directions, a simple direction, right, to let us know that I'm interested. This is not a link that you just make a purchase, right? You're not like clicking a link and saying, "Oh, I'm going to buy it today." You're saying, I'm interested. I'm serious about making sure that my lead generation funnels, my sales funnels are set up, my marketing strategies are put together. I just wrote a marketing strategy for someone. We do it in less than 30 days. We write a whole marketing strategy for the entire year. So you walk away with, a marketing strategy that you can at least work on that same week if you want to, right? Like, you have something to implement right then and there. That's not for the week. That's for someone who is like, I'm ready. So yeah, TeeCee is right. I said DM us. We're not putting the link out there right now. But the reason is, TeeCee, to your point, is I want to see who can follow directions. And I also want to talk about this quality over quantity, because here's what I think is so important to know. I will choose quality over quantity any day. I told y'all that I do lead generation, and we do have to get out of here. So we're going to leave in a couple minutes, y'all. So make sure that y'all don't forget to DM us. But it's just, one of the things that I learned was that I can, generate a lead, a sales funnel, right? So basically, like, I'm pulling someone into my lead generation process. They are figuring out if they want to buy one of my programs. They get on a call with me. We figure out we work well together. I send them that email. They pay the invoice, right? And then now, we're working together. Well, here's the thing, right? Because that could be something very minimal. It could be like a 30-day program. It could be like an hour and of coaching. And here's what I think is so important about that, TeeCee, is that the reason why I have such a very invigorating process before you even get to that discovery call is because it tells me by the time that we get into the payment part that you are high quality, because you've already done all of this work, you know what I'm saying, to get there. And so how are you setting, and this is something we're going to go over in the 3 days, how are you setting yourself up for success to get those quality leads? Because when I think about the individuals that are in my programs, sometimes I wait 3 months, right? Because I know my product life cycle. So I'm not discouraged if I don't make, $10,000 a month for 3 months in a row, because I know that third month I'm gonna get those 5 candidates that I was working on, and they're gonna each pay me $10,000. Would that not make sense, right? Like, if you think about how quality leads work better than quantity, because I'd rather have that than have 500 people in my sales funnel and like people buying, things here and there and just kind of giving me guessing games.
Yeah.
And so the way that you do that, y'all, is to really make sure you have a strategic process that's set up before they even get to you.
Sure.
And I want to emphasize that, and we're going to break it down. If y'all have questions, like when it comes down to yours, because a lot of times when I look at business audits, this is what we look at. We like, I will go through someone's sales funnel, completely through their sales funnel. I will buy the product, and by the time I'm done buying the product, let me tell you what I find. They never follow up. They don't ask me for a review. They don't tell me, hey, thank you so much for buying the product. And you get a lot of thank you pages, like, thank you for your purchase.
Yeah.
But there's another avenue to that sometimes, right? Because if someone's been a loyal customer for more than a year or more than 3 months or even more than a month, you might want to send them a special thank you.
Sure.
There are strategic practices where people will really just kind of have set automations in place that hit certain what do we call it? We call them what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's like certain levels that you go up, but I can't remember the name I'm looking for. But basically, once you hit that next level, right, then they congratulate you. They go, oh my God, you've been with us for 6 months. Congratulations, right? And you can do it however it matches your brand. Some people, give them awards and coupons and, whatever, right? Rewards, local loyalty points. Some people get extra loyalty points. But the point is that those are ways that I curate quality leads, because I can see who's paying attention. I can see who's constantly showing up. And then they are the ones, and I'll end with this, they are the ones that end up being my highest lead generating tool, because now they're telling their friends, they're telling their family, they're sharing the social media, and that's where I feel that quality leads mostly come from. So being consistent in that is where, I've been able to master that. So we want to make sure that you all know where you need to be consistent at, what works really well for you, just the same way I described in my process. And I just look forward to seeing what everyone has, what questions you have. And we'll come back on the live on Instagram on Wednesday to answer those questions for you. And that's only on Instagram. So make sure you follow us on that channel. TeeCee, what do you have before we get out of here? Because I have a meeting with Sarah. I don't want her to kick my butt because she's always early. So go ahead, TeeCee. Mike is yours.
No, no, no. Just just saying that as much as possible, let's be intentional with taking advantage of all of this, live sessions and all of that, because I know how much of this live sessions that I have been opportuned to experience, how it has actually changed my business, because I was able to take action, like, implement them. It's one thing. It's very frustrating when you're listening and listening and listening. And somebody was saying to me on my life on Instagram, and she said she just finds herself listening to everyone, and I said, without, I was thinking about the right way to say it without sounding like, hard or mean. But I don't know, it just didn't. That was like the best way for me to say it, and I said that's the more reason why you will not get results. And I just said it, and I'm like, oh, but that's the truth, right? Because you see, when you find yourself not taking action, you realize that you keep listening to everybody. Everybody that says something, you do it. Everyone that says, you go, hey, you're writing, you're taking notes, you're taking notes. You keep taking notes, taking notes, taking notes, you not do anything. And then you won't get results. And then when you don't get results, you say you don't have money. Oh, I don't have money, I'm broke. Oh, and my tax is this. Oh, I'm in debt. You're in debt because you are not taking action. How about you just use this now? Implement it. See, if you implement certain things, you will have plenty questions. If you don't do it, if you don't try it, you would not have questions because you never tried it. Right? So my challenge to you right now is we're going to have another live on Wednesday, right? At 8, Allegra 8 or 10? 10, 8. 8, right? We're going to have, right, we're going to have another live on Instagram, right? Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, follow us on
Are you talking
Instagram.
about on Instagram?
Yes, on Instagram. Mm-hmm.
The
Instagram.
Instagram live is at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Eastern
So
Standard Time.
okay. So I got that wrong. Let's rewind. So on Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern time, we're gonna have another live. Now that live is specifically to answer all of your questions, right? So what you're going to do is all of this we've talked about, or consistency and how you can implement consistency as a technique and as a skill. Start to work on it, implement it, take notes, and then on Wednesday, come to the live and ask us all of those questions. Okay, now that's my assignment for you. If you're listening, if you're watching the replay, right, take all those notes, catch us up on Instagram, and ask all of those questions, and take another step. Okay, DM myself or Allegra the word masterclass to find out if what we have by the end of this month is for you. Okay, that's it. That's all I have to say.
All right, thank you, TC. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Sarah is already like, we in the meeting, and I already know. So thank y'all for being patient with us. Thank you, Sarah, for being patient with me. She's like, yeah, she keeps me in check. Um, I'm just gonna say this too for those of you who are gonna DM me the word masterclass. Just make sure this live really impacted you to, make you reach out, because we want to really fine tune some of the problem areas. There are a lot of new problems that are coming up, y'all. They're doing market research constantly to discover what is happening with the new entrepreneurs. A lot of things that people are, really curious about. Things that we think we know, we don't. And so we're discovering as we go through this time, in about 10 years or so,
Mhm.
we're going to see the results of that. And so I want us to be very mindful, right, about asking questions, saying what it is that we have going on in our businesses, what kind of
Yeah.
experiences we're having, because we're talking about quality leads, but quality leads equal quality people. It's
Mhm.
not just like actual people. So
Mhm.
we're gonna dig a lot deeper into that for y'all. All right, thank y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Have an
All right.
amazing day.